Hi, I'm Lulu and welcome to Lulu's Way. I'm glad you're here. So, the last meetup I had, Jan from Butterfly Tracks was there. She's a friend of mine and a fellow YouTuber. And when I saw her van, she had made some changes to it. So, she has a minivan. So, she's very stealth. So, I noticed that she had um, some decals or some kind of signs made that say Butterfly Tracks, which is the name of her channel. It says Butterfly Tracks YouTube, and it's her whole back windshield, and it's the side of her van. And I thought, I love that. Like, I would love to get some Lulu's Way things for my windows and the side of my van. But then I thought, but geez, she's not stealth anymore. Like, anywhere she goes, if it's a van life channel, clearly she's living in that. So I said, I love your signs outside the van. They look great. And I said, but what do you think about like now, like everyone knows that you're in there? And she goes, well, I want people to know I'm in there. And I thought, you don't want to be stealth? Like, why don't you want to be stealth? I'm thinking it seems to be very, very important to me. I really like that nobody knows I'm inside. I do everything I can to make people not know that I'm inside because I want to park wherever I want to park. And so she proceeded to explain to me briefly why she does not want to be stealth, and she thinks just the opposite is better. She wants people to know that she's in her van, and she's full time in this van too. So she started to explain it to me. I was very distracted because I was at my meetup and I was just very distracted with very busy and distracted. So I asked her, I said, can we have a chat on the phone? I want to talk to you about this stealth thing, this where we conflict with this. So I thought, I'd like to get her thoughts on why this is important to her to not be stealth when it's so important to me to be stealth. It seems strange to me. So I said, we can either debate it, we can agree, or we can agree to disagree. I mean, we'll just see how it goes. So I'm about to get on the phone with her right now. And I thought that I would make a video out of it so you could hear firsthand the debate on stealth versus not stealth. I've never heard of anybody that said, I intentionally do not want to be stealth because I think it's better. Some people have said, I'm not stealth because I need all this stuff because it looks like an RV, or you can see that it's somebody's here because it's got the solar panels and all that. And they know they're sacrificing stealth. So here we go.
Hello.
Hi, how are you, Miss Jan?
I'm good. I have fans on, so you let me know if they are a bother. I don't think they're too loud.
You have what on?
Fans.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't hear any fans.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So how are you doing?
Oh, great. I've got this campground nearly to myself. The river has flooded across the road, and there's a back way in, but they're not letting I had this reservation for quite a while, and they're not letting any more in. So there are 7 campers and maybe 4 volunteer campers, so 11 out of 70 something sites here.
Wow. And that's in
So I
Florida?
love it to myself.
And that's in Florida?
Yeah.
You're still in Florida, yep.
Yeah.
Good.
I'd rather not be, but my mother's 97th birthday is Wednesday, so I kind of shopping here.
How about that? That's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So let's talk about this subject. So when I saw all those Butterfly Tracks signs and window things, what are those called, by the way? Decals? No.
There are some. Yeah, we have some patches and
Some of those too. That big one that covers your whole back window. What's that called?
Oh yeah, that's a wrap. They call that a wrap.
Oh, okay. And then the ones on the side of your van, are those magnets?
Yeah, those are magnets. Those are from Vistaprint.
Oh, okay. and then the back thing is called a wrap.
Right.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And so when I saw, when we were at my meetup and I saw those, I was just like, oh, I would love to have something like that on my van
Uh-huh.
for my YouTube channel. But I thought that then I'm not going to be stealth anymore. And then,
Right.
so I remember when I talked to you about that, I said, what do you think about, especially where you're full time? I was
Uh-huh.
like, what do you think about, like, now everyone knows that, like, there's somebody in there? And you were
Right.
like, well, I want them to know. And I'm like,
Right.
well,
There
that's
you go.
strange.
Right. Well, no, it is a whole subject, and it's just my opinion,
Yes, I
but
want to
it
hear
is
your
a
opinion.
whole subject and very, very worth talking about. There are actually people who get a little thrill from, stealth sneaking around.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I actually wrote some notes because it's a whole thought,
Okay.
and then we can talk about the different parts. But I really put some thought into it because I had before just going along, stealth or not to stealth, individual incidences. But then when you asked the question, I thought, well, I really ought to put some thoughts together on that. So I did. It's maybe 4 or 5 paragraphs or something. And then if we could pick it apart after that, if you want to.
Okay.
All right. So are you going to record or what are you doing? Or just getting notes or what?
Yeah, I'm recording right now. I'm just
Okay,
recording.
good.
I'm recording myself on video and just your audio.
Okay, good, good. Stealth really means to hide in plain sight and to have a free overnight parking place, right?
Right.
There are two entities that you would be hiding from: police and security guards, that's one group, or thieves. So we'll talk about them separately, and I'll talk about the bad guys last. First, the police and anyone else who might give you the nod. They may or may not knock, even if they know you're in there, but they absolutely already know you are in there. And here are the giveaways: window covers. You can't see light through to the other side like a minivan. If you look through the windows, you should be able to see a little bit. Even at night, you'll see, or especially at night, you'll see light through the other side, unless you have completely blocked off. That's a dead giveaway. And they know that's a dead giveaway. Condensation on the windows is another one. And here's another one: you've been told to back in for safety, right? So you're the only car in the whole parking lot that's backed in, and you were there all night. That's the big giveaway.
Mm.
Right. So, and if you're way back in a corner, think you're hiding, they know you're there.
Yeah.
Okay. Almost stealth. That's another category. And this could work if you really do look like a work truck with none of these previous telltale signs. Why was the work truck there all night? Why doesn't it have identification on the exterior? A company would want to advertise, even a city truck would have some identification. Is the worker okay? I mean, were they working on electric and got electrocuted and they're in there dying somewhere? And it's very easy for police or security to check to see if work is being done at that facility. And then again, you were there all night. All right. So the bad guys. According to a national crime survey, 2 of the top 3 most broken into parking places were in residential areas: apartment parking lots and driveways. Car thieves are looking for an easy target. This is still quoting. Car thieves are looking for an easy target. They tend to steer clear of highly visible areas, especially if there are security cameras or people around. It seems logical that they would be aware of that cars in a rest area, truck stop, or Cracker Barrel might have someone inside, and that makes it higher risk for them. So those to me are really not stealth. Cracker Barrel, truck stops, rest areas, those 3 in particular are not. And probably even, the Walmarts that are generally, if they're casing a joint, they're looking for just rattling the door to try to grab something, they're going to know that every night there are a few campers there. And last of all, finally, I just don't want to be where I'm not welcome. And that's all my thoughts on being stealth. I think that it's someone knowing that I'm in there might actually deter them.
Right.
It's much easier for them to just go to a car that looks empty. Right. And that's coming and that actually is coming from Chrome from what's it?
Oh, Van City Van Life.
Yeah, Van City Van Life.
Yep.
Yeah, he did a video on that, and I had already been kind of thinking that way, but he really clarified my thinking on that really makes sense. He wants people to know he's in there. Go look for an empty car and grab something. You don't know what I got in here.
Yeah, because he used to be stealth, and he used to
Right.
talk about being stealth, and then all of a sudden, everything is on the outside of his van. Like,
Right.
he could
Right.
be.
Well, looks like a camper means somebody's in there. Leave them alone.
Yeah. So, yeah, somebody that's going to break in wants, I guess I'm not really, when I think about being stealth, I don't really think about the thieves. I don't think about that. I just think
Well, that's
about,
something a lot of people do think about,
yes,
though,
yeah,
in general, in
right.
parking anywhere.
So they feel like if they're stealth, they're safer, but they're
Yeah.
really not. And
Yeah.
you're saying that that you're better off knowing that someone's in there. But what about like you got like a butterfly on the outside, so that's very feminine. So they may think that there's like a woman in there.
Yeah, but they don't know if I've got a gun.
This is true.
They don't know.
This is
I
true.
might have a giant Rottweiler in here.
It is true because women in vans really you can't.
They're more likely almost to have one.
Yeah, there's a few women that I've traveled with that are packing.
Please delete this, but I'm not.
Yeah.
No, I have a stun gun, and I really appreciate a stun gun.
Yeah.
I'm not going to kill myself with it. I can hurt somebody real bad, and I can scare them just with the lights and the noise of a very powerful one.
Yeah.
And besides, it's gonna, an apartment. You know how easy it is to break most windows in apartments, unless they're in Florida, set up for hurricanes. Just kind of like a little bitty plink, just a little plink, and that window is gone for an apartment or a house most of the time. So it's real easy to get in there. But we're in a metal box, and these windows, take a minute.
Right.
It's not going to just be plink. And by the time that arm comes through, it's not going to go back out looking the same. Not. I got time to get my stuff.
Yeah, you will. So, when I think about being stealth, I think more about just having, it's really interesting because you got me thinking about it, because I think about it just gives me more options of places
I agree.
hide, right? But when I really think about it, the places I do park are usually Cracker Barrels and rest stops and
That's not
Walmarts.
stealth.
And so it's kind of like, I guess my vision on being stealth and doing what I can to keep my van looking like a work truck. I'm not even, let's just say, like those examples that you gave by saying anybody that's living in their vehicle is not stealth because of the condensation, because of the blocked out windows and all that. But just say, without those issues, just talking about just being somewhere and somebody looking and saying that's a work truck. I guess.
Why was it there all night? Why doesn't it have markings on it?
Right.
I think anybody, a thief who's, thinking about who might or might not be in there, they would, I don't think they're just going up to any and every vehicle. I think they'll look at several and then try to think about it.
Right. And
it's not just random, like somebody driving by is not going to think about it, but somebody, and any security guard or police officer will know. And if they don't, they're going to ask, if you're not, some of them don't care. They're going to just let it go, but they know, they know the same way we would know. Haven't you seen some that hey, there's somebody in there for sure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I guess like I'm thinking more about like I guess there's trying to be stealth, there's maybe just not being inconspicuous, and then there's broadcasting it. So
right.
I just think it's interesting how you feel like broadcasting it is makes you feel better.
Yeah, kind of, yeah, because like I said, I definitely don't want them to question whether or not anybody's in here. That's just me.
Yeah, yeah,
And like I said, I'm going to be where other people are. I am not going to be there alone.
right.
I will drive all night to be where other campers are.
Mm.
I'm not staying in a Cracker Barrel by myself. Absolutely not. My really my favorite place is Flying J with an all night Denny's because you get the best of both worlds. You got a restaurant right there. You got a private entrance to go in. You don't even have to walk through the past the registers or anybody. You go right to the bathroom. Okay, everything you need to survive is right there. They're open all night. It's well lit. There are always people there, and I think they have some measure of security.
And did you find that they're all over the place? Like when you took that trip from Maine to Florida, did you find Flying J's the whole way?
No, I did not. Nope.
Are they the more in the south?
Well, actually, what we did mostly it was Cracker Barrels.
Yeah.
Pretty much all Cracker Barrels. There were maybe two Walmarts, one successful, not Sam's. What's the other one?
Loves?
No, Sam's Club. The other one, Costco.
Oh, Costco?
One successful Costco. One we had the police called, and that was interesting. I'll tell you my experience with people who did knock. When we were on the Route 1 trip, there were four vans with senior women in them. And we had parked. Everybody was probably already in their PJs or whatever they do. And I took Coco out. It hadn't been dark long. And this woman came by in her security vehicle and said, just a heads up, we called the police. You're not supposed to be here. You're going to have to leave. So by the time I got them all out, and I was the knocker, I knocked on their doors. So we got to get out of here. And by the time we were all ready to leave, the two handsome young policemen had pulled up, and they were so nice. We had a good time. We laughed. We said that they said we were their best call all night, and the other guy said, "No, it's the best call I've had in my career." So people just get all a flutter, and they think I'll just die. My heart will just explode. My heart will be pounding so hard. And we had a good time talking to him. I have. That's the only knock. I think that's the only. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the only knock I've gotten. But anyway. I have spoken to two different places, two Walmart security guards who saw me with my panels out and just wanted to come and talk because they wanted to do van life. And both of them said that it's nothing to them. Don't let your heart get all in a flutter. They don't care. They're told to, they got cameras. They're supposed to ask you to leave. Cameras are watching them. They have to ask you to leave. It's really no skin off their nose. They don't care. So don't get all a flutter if someone knocks on your door. It's really inconvenient. It is a little scary, but it's not that big a deal to them for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just inconvenient because now you have to go find another place.
Yeah. But I always have an A, B, and usually a C. Like I had a failure at a Cracker Barrel one time, and I also knew where there was a truck stop. A lot of times when there's a Love, there's a Flying J right across the road, and so you can just go over there and see which one you like the best.
Mm. Now, I was noticing a few Loves that I went to. The sign said that there was no overnight parking. What's up with that?
Right, on the outside, but I ask anyway. And they say, just don't worry about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I would ask.
Yeah,
most of them will say that. I'll either call and ask for the manager or go in and ask for the manager. I've got several stories on that. And, they've always been very welcoming.
Now, when you went to that Costco, that
Mhm.
you got the cops called on you,
Mhm.
why were you parking there?
Yeah, we had one of them with us was a member of Costco, and she called ahead to the customer service desk or something, but she didn't really speak to a manager. We didn't really have permission. So that was, a failure to connect with the right person.
Right.
And at the other Costco we did stay at, sure, you're welcome, and there were other campers there.
Yeah. What about Home Depot and Lowe's? Is it true that you
I've
can
done
park?
I've done both of those, but only when I ask. Let's see, it's Bass Pro, and there's another one that's associated with Bass Pro. Can't think of it right now, but those are usually good too, and I
And
would ask those.
and when you ask, they do
I
they
might not
typically?
ask at a truck stop sometimes if I'm pulling in late and I see a bunch of campers. I
Yeah, yeah,
might not. I probably won't ask at most Cracker Barrels if there are other campers there.
yeah. I mean, it's just kind of
I might not. It just kind of depends. They've always been very welcoming. I've
right.
seen a couple that don't. One of them, Massachusetts, said unauthorized vehicles will be towed at the owner's expense. I believed him and I drove away.
Oh, goodness. Sounds like
Yeah,
Massachusetts.
it's rare.
So, have you ever in a Home Depot or a Lowe's, have you ever been told no?
I haven't done that often.
Oh, okay.
My go-to is usually Cracker Barrel, especially if
Yeah.
I'm with people.
That's been my
Uh,
go-to too. It's been it just feels they're just all it's always very comfortable there.
well,
Yeah.
unless nobody's there, then I'm gonna find a truck stop because there will be people at the truck stop.
I don't think I've ever been to one that there hasn't been it hasn't been filled. Some of them they look like RV parks.
I
Yeah.
know, fact.
Yeah, packed.
There was one so cute. This young couple, and of all things, they had a Florida plate on a little tiny Prius. They were young and slender. They were not big people, but they were right beside me. And of course, I had my screens up so I could see them, and they didn't know I was watching them. It was so funny. They got out, they backed in, of course, and they got out and they whipped out their window covers and they put them up real quick and they disappeared. You could
Oh,
tell they were nervous.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Rookies. At a Cracker Barrel,
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah. Oh, that's
was
funny.
full of campers and they were sneaking around.
Yeah, yeah. Um, um, so do you think that the cargo box that you have that I'm probably going to be getting, do you believe that is that's a dead giveaway that there's a camper in there?
I don't care. Just honestly, I had the rooftop box. That's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, I
No,
really don't care.
no, I know.
'Cause,
No, do you put that in
oh,
the same? Do you put that in the same category as like the window covers and the condensation and
yeah, kind of. It's a camper.
yeah?
Yep, I got solar on top now. You'd have a hard time seeing it, except there's a little wire coming down the back. They did a really good job of that. But
I saw your
uh,
video. I saw
I
your
wouldn't have
video.
cared if it had a rack on top. If I didn't have a warranty, I'd put a little Max Air fan, the little tiny ones in the back.
Yeah.
If I didn't have a warranty, but I'm not going to do it because of that.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't care if decking it out. I mean, if I was driving a big old Class B, I mean, that's pretty obvious.
yeah, yeah,
It's a camper.
yeah. So you
And
just you want to be
there's
seen
even
as a
places
camper.
where I don't want to be, and even then, I guess there's some controversy over that. That it's okay to be like in a neighborhood.
Yeah,
Travel grandma used to prefer to be in a nice enough, not wealthy, but a nice neighborhood is where she preferred to park,
mm.
or a apartment complex. Where in an extra parking lot.
Oh, like a visitor spot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Then it could be a camper and no one would care. That's not. That's not my go-to.
yeah,
You got to drive around and find the right place, and yeah.
yeah.
I do have a tip for finding the right place. For example, a Cracker Barrel or a truck stop. When you look it up on Google and you put it into the map and then you put it on Google Earth, then you can spread it out, zoom way in, and see what the parking lot looks like. Same for if you're looking for a park to be in the daytime.
Mm.
You don't want to go to a sports park where they don't have any trees. You want someplace more like a picnic area. So I would put in City Park Picnic, and then I would zoom in to see if their parking lot was shaded.
Yeah,
And that would be one of the places that I would like to spend the day. You could cook. They've got nice big garbage cans. They've got a bathroom, and generally they have some shades and a picnic area.
now that you have a solar panel, you're going to be looking for the sunny spots.
I know. Yeah. Well, this all towers came with 400 watts of the foldable panels.
Wow.
Yeah, really, 400 watts.
And you,
So
so wait a minute,
if
you have
I
the
need to
portable.
fill it in sometime, if I want to park in the shade, I can stick those things out there and have 400 incoming.
Okay, so you have the portable ones in addition to the stationary one on your roof.
Right, that's right.
Oh,
Yeah, I put that on, but they sent the 2000 to me for review, and
yeah.
it came with those panels.
Oh, and so
I
you,
am really impressed with it. I'm telling you, it's just like never goes down. But I have the Uhomey refrigerator that has the battery, and I know that's much less draw. So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
really hardly
Oh, good,
using it.
good. I'm glad it's working for you.
Yeah.
So so you're making me think like, like, even though I think when I first started research in van life, um, stealth was like drilled into my
Yeah.
head. It was
That
drilled.
was that's kind of passe now.
Oh,
That's
okay.
just,
Is that what it is? I'm behind the times. Is that what
yeah,
it is?
that's just no longer in style.
I'm not cool anymore. I'm not cool.
It's just not necessary. There's so many of us out there now. Everybody knows when your windows are
Yeah.
they're
Or
condensation.
maybe it's because I'm from New England. I mean, up here it's really rough. That
Kind of place.
well, you don't even go look. There's like you just get a campground, you know? And I
Oh,
don't really enjoy campgrounds that much, you know?
yeah.
I like to just I guess when I think about it, stealth was drilled into my head when I was building
Mhm.
the minivan when I did my first build that I tore out and did another build in my current van. It was like stealth, stealth, stealth. And then when you said that at my meetup, I thought to myself, when have I ever even benefited from it? Because
Mhm.
I park in the same way that you park. I park where there's other campers too. Like I'm never hiding in a neighborhood.
Yeah.
I so I'm like, why do I have this on my brain?
It was a trend. It was just trending on YouTube.
Is that what it was? Is it?
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, you take a road trek, a road trek. It looks
yes,
like a camper. People do
yes,
that all the time. And, when you go to these places where you think you're stealthing, there's big old campers, trailers, class C and B. And
yeah,
so why, just because we're in a vehicle, should we want to be stealth?
right. I guess, I think if I'm in a little van that looks like a work van from a distance, if you were up close, you might see the window coverings and you might see condensation on the windows, but from a distance in a in a pinch, I feel like I could hide if I had to, if I was in a pinch, but
Yeah.
and not look like a camper. But I think that, like, here I am thinking like, oh, I'd like to get one of those wraps for my car,
Yeah. Yeah.
from my back windows, and and then I automatically think, no, don't do that, because then it's going to be like, no, it's like the Lulu mobile.
Yeah. Right. Well, I know I've seen other YouTubers that have various type of advertising on the outside. So
Yeah,
that's a new trend.
that's a new trend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So you got me thinking. You definitely got me thinking. You made a lot of really good points. You know.
Well, I think the one that I don't want to be stealth about is the thief guy, because he's looking at a bunch of cars, and there's a real easy one over there. So you take say any van, your van, my van, and you know how people put the curtain across because they want to be stealth.
Yep.
And so the back's all covered up, fine, but you leave the front completely open. Now you've got a guy walking by, just wants to rattle the door and see if he can, grab something.
Yeah.
First of all, he can see in. Hopefully, you don't have anything up there he'd want to grab. But
Mm.
I think he'd be less likely to try to break my window if he sees all my window covers covered, and he's knowledgeable enough after being a successful and experienced car theft
Mm.
thief, that he would know, yeah, I'll just go over here where there's nobody in this car.
Yeah. I you know something, Jan? I don't even put my window covers up anymore. Well, I have no windows in the back.
Right, right.
And so all I have is my windshield and the passenger window and the driver's window. And
Yeah.
where my bed is, my feet are right next to the passenger side window,
Mhm.
and it's under a black blanket. And
Mhm.
I didn't use them once in Florida.
Right.
I used them.
Well, nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you had a minivan where the windows are all open, I would say that would be, you know, and I'm on my phone at night, so
Yes.
definitely someone would see the light in there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll sometimes I'll sit up in bed and I'll be on my laptop and I know my whole face is lit up.
Right.
And I just do it anyway. I just
Well,
do
there
it.
you go. So you're not worried about it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's usually because I'm
Yeah.
someplace where like you said, you just, as long as you're where you belong and
Yeah.
you're not getting away with anything, what does it matter if my face is lit up with with my iPad, you know?
I think we just need to get better at finding places where we belong.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's the key.
Yeah.
And believe me, police and security guys, they absolutely know. So they are not the ones you're hiding from.
Yeah.
Was another one, and I've told this story so many times, but it was very early in my outdoor life, and I was at that Cracker Barrel, and that guy was walking around, and I noticed he had on a bulletproof vest, and in his pocket was an armed stun gun because it had the little light on.
Mm.
And he walked around. The third time he walked around, I got a picture of him after he walked past. And a police or a sheriff, shortly after that, pulled in and parked facing the whole parking lot, just like I was back then. So I went right over there and showed that picture. There was a woman and she called for backup. She said, "We know who he is. You shouldn't stay here." And I said, "Well, I'm really kind of new to this. I don't know where to go." And she told me how to go to the Love's that was just up the road, real easy. Get out on the highway. It's just up
Mm.
there a little bit and go in and talk to the manager. And I did. And I said, when I went in, asked for the manager, and I said that the sheriff had told me to come here because he said I'd be safe.
Oh,
And he said, "Well, here." He wrote his personal cell phone number on his Love's card and handed it to me. He said, "Park right over there. I'll be able to see you. If you get nervous, call me."
oh, wow. How about that,
Well,
huh?
welcoming or not, now how do I not love
Yeah,
Love's?
yeah. Right, right, right. Yeah,
So that's very encouraging. That was not a knock on the door, but that was a police officer saying, "You're not going to be safe here."
right.
You know.
So in vehicle that's not stealth, when you got up to New England, Massachusetts, Connecticut, into Vermont and New Hampshire and into Maine, where did you primarily sleep at night?
Well, I did spend a little bit of time at the only Cracker Barrel there in Portland, Maine, off and on, traveling around. I did go to state campgrounds. Um, there was a restaurant that we called ahead, and they let us park there, Lee and I. There was a campground way up north, two campgrounds way up north in Maine. So it wasn't that much stuff. There were some fishing docks; those were nice. There was always somebody there with me, and other campers were there too.
Mm.
So there were definitely some fishing
And
docks that
and
turned up
how did you
beautiful
find those?
view.
Did you find those on iOverlander?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
beautiful view. It was really pleasant.
Yeah. So there are some free camping in New England.
Yeah, yeah. I
Very little.
overlanded.
Very little though.
Yeah, right.
Very
That's
little.
what I ended up. Well, sometimes it was because I was meeting somebody that was coming. So I would go back to Portland and there was a driveway. I made a good friend. She's come down to Florida. Met her through Facebook. She offered her driveway, and Lee and I stayed there a couple of times, and then she's come down here to a meetup.
Oh, and you came in my driveway too.
That's right. That's right. I didn't feel very stealthy. We had our little fake fireplace out there with our lights. I wonder what the neighbors
I know.
thought.
My neighbors must be like, what's going on over there now?
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, well, thank you very much. You got me kind of thinking about,
Yeah, we need to think more. I mean, it's something that newbies need to make their own decision about it, but they need to be knowledgeable that the police and the security guards know you are there.
yeah, they know all the tricks.
Yep, they do.
Okay. Good to know.
Right.
I'm going to think about this.
And don't have a heart attack. If someone knocks on your door, don't have a heart attack.
Right, right. Yep.
I
Yeah.
mean, be ready to leave if you need to. Be aware of all that, but
Yeah.
try to be where you don't get a knock. That's my preference.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I've never gotten a knock because I guess I really haven't been anywhere that I shouldn't have been, I mean, I think I parked in a hotel parking lot one night,
Yeah.
a few nights, but even that, it's like, I could be a camper that wants a hotel room for a night.
Well, I see campers at them. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever park in hotel parking lots?
I have. I did in Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you just kind of pull in and like I could be in a class B. I could be in a big class B, and I could be getting a hotel for a night because
Yeah.
you know.
There's another thing I can do too because I have a plug-in electric. I can pull into a charging spot, which I did at a hotel in Cottonwood, Arizona, and there was a police officer parked close by, but it didn't say for residents only or guests only.
Yeah.
So I just plugged in and slept. Nobody else can park there. Nobody was there, so
Yeah.
well, that's the little stealth quiet place I have.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Mm.
Good. Well, thank you very much, Jan. Thanks for
No
taking the
problem.
time to just getting me up to date, so I'm not so old fashioned anymore.
That's the way of thinking.
Uh,
And they change, I think we all, learn more as we go, and
right.
but people need to know
Yeah.
things we've talked about,
Right. Right.
so they panic.
Yeah. 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 All right. Good. Well, thank you very much for taking the time, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye for now.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye. Whew. So I don't know what to think. I've put in so much time and effort into being stealth, and now she's telling me that I'm not stealth. I'm not stealth. And now I'm thinking, why do I even need to be stealth? I don't think I've ever parked anywhere that other campers haven't been. So I think I might get myself a Lulu's Way wrap for the back of my van. A ready to dance wrap and a Lulu's Way wrap. Bye for now.